everyone, Karen here, and today we're going to be making a stand-up grid card like this. Now once I show you how to make this base, you can put anything you want on the top of this card. But today I'm going to be making a birthday card. So I have some balloons, I have some stars, I have a banner, a cake, I have a message, I have a happy birthday sign here that I'm going to layer, and I do have a piece of acetate in case I do want to stick some of these up in the air. Now, with the measurements I'm doing today, it will fit in a 5x7 envelope, one folded. So let me show you how we're going to make the base. So to make the base, you're going to need 3 ovals that are about 4.5 by 2.5. Now, we're going to cut them all in half, and then we're going to put some slits in here. Now, if you have a hard time cutting an oval in half, what you can do is this oval is 4.5 by 2.5. So I took just a scrap piece of copy paper, cut it by 4.5 by 2.5, and I can lay this on top, which is now going to give me a straight edge to line up on my trimmer. So let me bring my trimmer in. So if this is 2.5 across, I need to cut this at 1 1/4. So I'm going to line this up at 1 1/4. Just like that. Yeah, we're all lined up here. And I'm going to cut this in half. So now I have 2 pieces that are the same. Yeah, so if you have a hard time with an oval, you can use that little trick there. Oh, I have one more to cut. So now when I cut the second one, I can just hold this on here. So I can either put a mark on here or just use this to line it up, which I think I will. So I will just line this up like this at 1 1/4. Line that up there. And cut that in half. Alright, so now we have our 6 pieces, and we need to cut some slits. Now we're going to cut these 3 one way and 3 the other way. So 3 of them are going to have slits coming from the top, curvy part, and 3 are going to have slits coming from the bottom. Alright, so let's do the ones on the straight edge first. Alright, so what we need to do is we are going to, I'm going to put this way so I can put this on top. We are going to cut a 3/4 inch long slit, a 1 inch from either side, and then 1 in the middle. So I'm going to make a mark here at 1 inch. I'm going to make a mark here 1 inch from the other side. And since this is 4.5, my middle part is going to be 2 1/4. Just like this. So now I need to draw a line 3/4 of an inch. Now this is where a clear ruler is really great because I can use the line to make sure I'm straight. And then I can come down 3/4 of an inch. Use the edge, make sure this is straight. Trip in the right place, and come down 3/4 of an inch. Come down here, 3/4 of an inch. Now I would take all 3, fold them together, and cut the lines at the same time because you want to make sure you're putting these in exactly the same spot. So I'm going to hold this in my hand, hold the curve like this, and I'm just going to cut once. I'm going to cut in the middle. And I'm going to cut the other side. Turn this around and cut it this way. Like that. So now for the one that has the curve, we are going to once again find let me just take one to make the mark. Now here, I'm going to use the line here to line up to make sure I am in a nice straight line, and I'm going to find 1 inch, 2 1/4, and since this is 4 1/2, I'm going to come to 3 1/2. Right there. All right, now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to make a straight line here. Let's see. I want to measure at 2. Let's see. So just for ease, I'm going to bring it down to where 1 inch is at the top. And that way I will have a straight edge here on the bottom. And I'm going to come down 3/4 of an inch. Then I'm going to come over to this line. I'm going to line that up again. I'm going to bring the 1 inch line right at the top of my paper and come down 3/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to bring the ruler to the other side, line it up, and come down 3/4 of an inch, like that. Now I'm going to take the 3 of these and cut these slits. Now when you put them together, if they're off a little bit, you can always adjust your slits. You know, if you find you didn't cut your slit, long enough, it's not a big deal. You can pull it apart and just line it all back up again. All right, so that is all the cutting we have to do for the base. So now we're just going to put it together. All right, so now we have our 3 that are cut from the top and our 3 that are cut from the bottom. So now we're going to start assembling. So I think it's easiest if you go middle to middle, 1 cutting from the top, 1 opening from the bottom. Slide those together. And here you can make sure it's going to be flush, and if not, you can cut your slit a little bit longer if you need to. And like that. So now I'm going to take 1 more from the top, and I'm going to slide that in here. See, now this one's not quite flush, so now I can look at it and see, okay, which one needs to go down a little bit more. So I'll just take this and trim it just a little bit more. And slide this in. Now we'll come on the other side. And slide that one in. So now we'll take the 2 that are cut from the straight edge, and they come in from the top. So I'm going to start with the middle one and put this one here, and I'll put this one here, and this one here. There we go. Now just 1 more. This one goes in from the top again. I'll put the middle one in first. And take the side. And then the last one comes in on this side. So now we have our grid, like this. There we go. Now we're in there. Now at this point, you just want to make sure everything is sitting in here nice and flush on the bottom. I think we have everybody in here now. And the moment of truth, we're going to see if it closes. And there we go. And it should close flat both directions. Alright, so that is it for the base. Once you have this done, you can put whatever you want on the top. So let's put this over to the side and start constructing the birthday card. So I have here, I have a happy birthday cut out in red. Then I have some nesting dies that had a curvy edge to them in blue and in yellow. And this I'm going to use on the back to make this stand up tall enough. So let me start with this yellow here. I want to put a little bit of an edge on this. So I'm going to bring in some Marigold from Gina K. And I'm going to go around the edge here just to give it a little something. Because if you don't edge your cards and put a little bit of depth in your color, when you're using solid color, it tends to look a little flat. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Now you could put a contrasting color on here. Because I don't have any green in this, you absolutely could have put some green on here. So let's look at this side. Alright, so you see it's got a little shadowing there. On this side, flat. See, just that little bit of color makes a big difference. Alright, so let's glue the happy birthday to the yellow. Now with lettering here, if you have a Xyron, you absolutely could use a Xyron. But I tend to stay away from dry adhesive as much as I can. Just because of where I live with the humidity, it just sometimes gets really gooey and is a problem if I try to go to a market or something. If you're going to be selling your cards and you're going to be outside, you need to keep that in mind of how the outside weather is going to affect your cards. All right, so this is just going to go in the middle here. That looks about right. Let's see. That looks good. Push that down. Now I do need a little gem for my eye. I think this is a good size. Yep, that will be good. So I'm just going to put a little dot of glue here. That's probably too much. And I'll put a little there. The die did have the little dot there, but I can never keep track of those little dies, so I just like to put a little gem there. Alright, so there's that part. So now this is going to go on here. Now this is very, very dark. Right, so I'm going to bring in the navy. And I'm just going to go around the edge here real quick. This is not going to be seen very much, but this is white core paper. And I really just kind of want to get rid of that white edge. Make sure there's no white edge hanging out there. Just like that. All right, now this will get glued onto here. Like that. Now this is going to go in the back of the card. So I'm going to start back here. Now, what you need to keep in mind here is you want to make sure that this is not going to be taller than 5 inches. So I'm going to grab my old 5x7 sheet that I use all the time, just to make sure I don't put it up too high. So this is going to get folded down like this, and then this can come up this high like here. And I know by laying it on here, it's still going to fit in my envelope. So I am going to glue this on the bottom, and then I can trim it down to however tall I need it to be. Make sure I don't do this upside down. This will be in the middle. So I'm going to open this for a second. Now what you can do here is you can put a slit on the bottom of this, and that way you can slide this down a little further if you want to on here. So I think I will. So let's see how much I want to cut off here. So if I want this here, and I want this to be here, I want this at the top, I want this to be here, so I am going to need to cut let's see, so that's going to go to here, So I'm going to cut probably here. I'm just going to cut this across. And then I'm going to put a slit in the middle. So I can slide that in. Right, so this is going to be like this. And this gives me a little bit of leeway. So now I can put this on here. Make sure it's all going to fit. And I can slide that to exactly where I want it to be. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue on the back side. I'm going to slide this in. And before it sets, I am going to lay this on here. And make sure we're good. And we are good. So now I know nothing should be taller than this here. The only other thing I'll need to check is side to side, but that is easy enough to do. Just making sure when you fold it, nothing sticks out further than your two ends here. All right, like that. So now we can go and just start decorating with our cake and our banner. I think I want to put this up here in the front. So here again, I'm going to put a little slit in it. I'm not going to glue this down yet, but I know I do want that here. So I just need to make sure when I fold this, that this is not going to come out further than that. Okay. Maybe I'll put this, let's see. So I have the cake, which I want to have, I think, over here. And this will be over here. I think I want to put this more at an angle, but it's okay. I will hide that slit. It's something else. So if this is here, let me close it. Make sure I'm still good. Yep, because I am good. I just need to make sure it doesn't come over further than this. All right, so I'm going to stand this up, and I'm going to slide this in here. And before that sets, I'm going to close it and make sure I am not further over. This is still all going to fit my 5x7. Let's bring that over that way. All right. Now my cake, I want to put over here. I think my cake, I want to put on a little bit of acetate. Make it a little taller. So I'm just going to take a piece of acetate here. I'm just going to cut a little stick. Doesn't need to be really fussy here. Glue this to the back. Now, I can put this up like this. Let me hold this card up like this so you can see what I'm doing here. So now I can kind of stick this over here, as long as it doesn't hang over. So I'm going to put some glue on here. I'm going to stick this over here. Now it's going to give me a second before it sets. So I am definitely fine because I know this is my edge. So I can actually pull it up a little more. Like that. There we go. So now we have this. So now you're just going to keep filling your card base. Let's see. So maybe we'll put, let's see. Do we want to put a green banner up here? maybe I do. Bring a little green up there. I'm going to put this up here. And now I have 3 large balloons that have one little piece on them. These balloons are a slightly different shape. And then I have 3 smaller ones. So now we can find all them at home. So I was thinking I could make one grouping. Something along that lines. And put it over here. So let me glue these together. Maybe like that. This one over here. Now this can also go on a piece of acetate. So again, we'll just cut a little strip. Put a little bit of glue. That on here. So see, you absolutely could use regular glue with acetate. Let's see, thinking about here. I'll just make sure it's not sticking out too far. I don't want it to cover the happy birthday too much. So let's make sure, fold it up. Oh, we are good. So now we'll make another grouping. Let's say I'll take a big red one, and I'll take the small yellow one. Let's see. I think I want to do a mirror image to the other one. So we'll put one over here, a small one in the front, like that. And we'll cut another piece of acetate. And we'll put this on the back. There we go. And what do you think? I'm thinking this one down here. So we'll cut this a little shorter. And we'll stick this one right here. A little more glue. There we go. So now we have this. So I think I need something taller here in the middle. So I think the third grouping will come in here. So now I have the red balloon. I have a yellow one. And I'll put the green one down here. I think we'll put that right about here. So here again, we'll take a little piece of acetate. And we'll attach it there. A little more glue. Let's give that a second. And we'll attach that here in the middle. I don't think I like that one like that. Let's straighten that out a little bit. Move our acetate down to here. And we'll put this one here. Right in here. So I'm going to put this one right on this one here. Right on that side, on the right hand side of the fold. Let's make sure we're still good here. Yep, we are still good. Okay, so now I have some stars. I have 3 different sizes of stars. Oh, my voice is going. Hopefully the voice holds on. And some little stars. Yeah, I have been sick since Christmas. That's why you haven't seen much of me. Let's see. So now here, I think these medium-sized stars will be good to put on the front here. I'm just going to put them straight on here. Here's one. I'll put a blue one over here. There. Let's see, maybe we'll take a little, let's see, maybe a little blue one. Nope, I think the green, a little green one. Put that up here. On there. Now let's see, I have the big stars. So I think these are going to go on acetate. Thinking, let's see, maybe a big star, let's see, big star, and maybe put a little star, something along this lines. I think I like the little ones better with the big ones. Stick this on a piece of acetate. So this will go in the front. And as long as I'm not taller than this is, here, let me tip this up. As long as I'm not taller than the happy birthday, I can absolutely put this here. What do we want? The yellow. I'm thinking maybe the yellow. Since there's red candles, I colored the candles red, so I think I want to use the yellow star. Put some glue on here. Yep, yellow. Alright, so I'm going to hold this up so you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to make sure I'm not taller than the happy birthday. Here we go. Let's fold this and make sure I'm still within my 5x7. Yep, all good to go. Maybe over here. Put some fresh glue on here. And I'm thinking over here. Let's Just make sure that when we fold this down, we are still inside our 5x7. So that needs to come over like this. This actually needs to move a little bit. Let me move this over just a tad. Like that. Now let me come in here and trim this bottom. Pull this off here because this is too long. Fix that. I will say when you use regular glue, it does take it a moment to dry. Make sure we're still good. Yep, we are still good. I can even bring this over a little bit more. I think I will. There we go. So that's the advantage of not using the adhesive that sticks right away, because you can, stick them out a little bit further. All right, so I think I want a star over here. I think I need blue. I don't have enough blue over here. And then I will need something over here on this side. So I'm going to put this on here. Put some glue on here, and I think I'm going to stick this to the back of the balloons. That's going to take it a second to grab. Let's make sure this is going to fit, so I can actually come out a lot further. All right, so I can come out about here. There we go. Hold that for a second. All right, so now we have this. So now it needs something over here for a little bit of balance. So let me make a little embellishment piece here. Put 3 stars. And we will put them on this side. I'm going to glue this to the top here. Some glue on the back, and I'm going to slide this in here. Right here on this piece here. But I'm going to have to be careful that it's not out too far. And be careful I'm not interfering with that one. So let's lay this down. Yep, we're still good. You press everything down really good while I'm down here. And let's see, how is that now? That's looking pretty full. So I don't think I need all these stars. So I do have some more banners. Not sure if this needs anything else. Let me look at this for a minute. Alright, so I need something more on this side. Now, to put something on this side, we have to put it in the back, because when this folds, it's going to go this way. So we can put something on the back here that is going to stick out kind of far. So I'm thinking I want to put the stars on here that I have left. I'm going to grab another piece of acetate. Put some glue. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I am thinking I need a little bit more color here. So I'm going to put 3 of the green stars and put the red banner over the top because I need a little bit of color. There we go. And I will put this back here. So I'm going to put the acetate on the side. Let me turn this sideways. And I am going to glue this to the front of the happy birthday sign. Turn this backwards. And I am going to slide this right in here. That needs a little bit of balance. All right. Yeah, that looks a lot better. All right, we'll just need to give this a second to dry. Definitely want that sticking out as far as I can. There we go. I'm going to hold that for a second. See, and that gives it, open it up, much more balanced. Now we have something coming out the other side too. Alright, now I do have some more banners left, and I do have one more green star. So I think the green star I will stick over here. And then I will take a red banner. Let's see, where do I want to put the glue? Because I want to sit this here. I need to put the glue on these first 2 here. Let me hold this up. So I'm going to slide it behind the sentiment. So the end of my ribbon is behind there. I think. There we go, just like that. Let me fold this down. This will be in here. There we go. So now that's what we have. I think that might be enough. I don't think I need anything else. Alright, so let's give it one more check. Make sure everything is going to fit in the 5x7. And it does. So I think this card is finished. So it lays flat like this. When you open it up, it will look like this. And remember, once you have the base done, you can put any kind of decorations you want on here. So I hope you enjoyed this card. If you did, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, stay crafty.